And may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the GoToWebinar control panel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Let's see if we got some sound going on here. There it is. All right, all right, all right. How's everybody doing today? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, regardless of where you are. So, let me see something here. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about last night. It was a calamity on top of a calamity on top of a calamity, and I just, when all was said and done, I lost track of time as I was trying to fix the calamity. And a little bit of RAS, totally lost track of the time as I was trying to get battery backups working and on another laptop, and GoToWebinar was fighting me, and so it is what it is. I apologize for any inconvenience I caused anybody, any alarms that went off, and people that woke up, and people that stayed up, and people that just chose to be here rather than doing something else. So I don't let stuff like that happen very often, but a couple times a year it'll happen. Let me off just this one time. Okay. It's about once every 5 months, 2 weeks, and 17 days, something like that, you know. So what's new in everybody's trading world? I've canceled close to the last minute a couple of times, but I don't think I've never not just shown up, but I might have done that once or twice. I try and get a hold of somebody, but normally I would post it myself if there was something known, and I was just dealing with an issue that I thought I would be able to take care of technically, and because I thought I was going to be able to take care of it technically, I just lost paying attention to time. And next thing I know, I was trying to get my laptop to work, and that didn't even. So anyway. Yeah, there's a power thing going on in my office, and I'm having somebody work on it. I'll just leave it at that. All right, so where are we? Where are we? For those of you that are kind of newer to me too, hang around a little while. I do have a tad bit of a dry humor, and sometimes it's infused with a little sarcastic wit. But don't ever misinterpret that for being rude or impolite or how many other ways it can be. And I'll get that way sometimes in messaging, and I'll get that sometimes in commenting, because I've just got a gazillion things going on. And I try and get quick to the point. Yeah, I'm not rude, just grizzly. Grr. All right. All right. All right. Going through messages here and what you guys had to say in the question box. All right. So let's just take a look at some scans and go from there. If anybody has any questions, fire away. I probably won't answer them, but fire away. It's the difference between Wednesday and Thursday is Thursday we're a day closer to Friday. And being an entrepreneur, I don't do the whole thank God it's Friday thing, but I do kind of celebrate the trading week shutting down. And I don't do tons of trading Friday morning. Sometimes, most of the time, none, but I will do some sometimes, because very short-term trading isn't as subject to some of the other bigger moves. I'm in or out, and I can live with it. But I do watch. Okay. But anyway, most of the time, if I am doing anything Forex-wise, I'm done by noon Eastern. And the day's done. Got plenty of other work to do, but most of the trading's done. All right. So y'all are pretty quiet. Hold on, the monitor I have this on is so tiny that the questions are so tiny. So I'll answer that. Or did you copy and paste that from the group, Mackenzie? Oh, I remember that discussion. I don't remember each of the individual questions. So let's go back to, okay, so you're trying to find what the actual answer was, correct? Now my memory's coming back. So there was a question about the recent training on 5-minute scans and Disruptive Traders TV has been good. Is there a minimum suggested scan length with 5-minute trades? With 15-minute trades, it was suggested that it be at least 80 pips. I haven't found the answer yet. So that was kind of a question. So the first real answer to that is no. Let's go back through history. Okay, we have to look at the evolution. Way back when we first started trading scanners and harmonic patterns, we wanted an 80 to 85 pip. See, I have deja vu. I'm having deja vu. I know I've said this before in this session. Not this session, but in one of our sessions. The reason for an 80 to 85 pip move was what? Why did we want to have a CD length on a 15-minute scan of 80 to 85 pips? Yeah, well, so again, we're going to hit the highlights of it. So, yeah, it was the math. But the reason was, at that stage, we were really looking for people to have a take profit of 10 pips on a scan. Wanted to have a take profit of 10 pips. People were shooting for something. We didn't have fast or other waves. People with tab 29 could trade differently, but for the most part, okay. So having a 10 pip goal, we wanted to get to that most of the time. So all of the success scan rates, all of the scan success rates were in that 89 to 92% range, or 87 to 92% range. And I think we used 89.33, as I recall, as the statistical average of a scan being deemed successful. Now, successful in those studies of 126,000 some odd number of patterns was a 15% move out of the CD leg. So 15% of CD. So 15% of 80 is what? Who's got their calculators going? 15% of 80. Wow, I've got 8, 12, 14. 12, right? 5 times 8 is 40. So 12 pips. So by the time you get out of there and pay the dealer, if you have a scan that's 80 to 85 pips wide, and you get in the trade and you exit after it gets close to the 10, starts retreating from the 10, you could bank 10 pips. If you have a 10 pip line drawn on your chart and you're waiting for price to get there before you exit the trade, and you have a scan that's 60 pips wide, you may never get there because it may achieve its 15% success rate. It may achieve a successful move by achieving 15% of the CD leg, but never get to 10 pips. This is all about quickfire. This is about trading the D with quickfire. So we set up a rule that said, let's have a scan that's at least 85 pips before we want to draw that, before we want to trade it. That just kind of drifted into pitchforks. With fast and pieces of 10 trading, hookbacks on the 1 minute wave, we don't need to worry about a 10 pip action line. We're going to get whatever pips we can until that wave hooks back against us, right? So it's not relevant anymore. That doesn't mean I want to trade we've seen some of these 15-minute scans that are 3 candles and 17 pips wide because it meets the statistical ratios that define a particular scanner pattern, harmonic pattern. So we still look for them to be a decent amount worthy of our time to trade. And you want to keep that statistical rate in the back of your mind about if it's successful, it's going to go 15% of the CD length. So whatever masterful money management schemes you apply for your individual trading, don't be taking yourself out, or more so, don't be waiting for something to happen that may not happen and still be considered a successful scan. Is this over anybody's head? My explanation was a little kludgy, I know. So that's where it comes from. So back then to what would be a good 5-minute scan. Who can extrapolate that? Kluge. I'm not sure. I still think of the Kluges that used to live outside Charlottesville, Virginia, that had the winery that Donald Trump bought. It's a real pretty piece of property. Who wants to reverse engineer and tell me why, what the CD length should be for a 5-minute scan? Don't just give me numbers. Tell me why. Let's get the end game and reverse it. We know y'all just guessing. If we're trading 5-minute charts, what are we looking for? A burst trade. How big is a burst trade? 5 to 7 pips. Could be more, but let's talk minimums because we're talking minimums. So I don't want to trade it unless it at least has a chance to go. That doesn't mean it will go that far. It doesn't mean I won't be okay if it goes less than that. But I'm not going to. We've said before, we don't want to start out for a trade that, if everything goes absolutely perfect, we're going to get 2 pips out of it. It's just not worth our time, guys. There's better criteria trades to go for. So if we're looking for 5 to 7 pips, that would be what? 15% of the CD leg. So we want something where 15% of X equals at a minimum 5. 7 would be a better target. So, wow, I'm getting everything from 30 to 50. 50-ish. 35-ish. 100. $50 times 15% is 7.5. Clay, I'm going to kick you out of the room. So somebody's saying 33 to 46 pips. So, I would say in that 45 to 50 pip range is what we'd want to look at for the entire CD leg. Because 15% might be a minimum. But now look, here's the deal. Did I trick you? Or are you comfortable with the question as asked? I love it. You guys that are brand new to me, I'm sorry. Wait a second. I'm not finished. Did I trick you with the question? Did I get your RAS all going aligned with me? Who the hell's taking a D trade on a 10-minute scan, on a 5-minute scan? What are we looking at 5-minute scans? See, doesn't it matter what you're looking for? If you're looking for a scan that has a C but not a D, and I catch a Clayway trade, I might ride an impulsive move. It don't need to be 47.385 pips wide. I might get a nice burst trade by looking at it, because we're on an impulsive move from the C to D. So one, it depends on how wide that is and you know, as projected, but where the impulsive move is occurring, typically there's more than one. Do. Guys got to be able to reverse engineer everything. What am I doing on the charts? What am I looking for? Now, if I go to a chart that's already there, if I go to a chart that has a scan that's already there and it's already completed, you know, I can go do a CD leg. Well, here, you know, here's a tiny one. It's already done. What about this one? Should I bother drawing a pitchfork on the C to D? What's the length of that bad boy? $12 pips. What should I do? Oh, yeah. Let me come down a little. Sorry. Thank you. I was trying to be gracious and give it as many pips as I could. But good eye, Mackenzie. See, this is, y'all are getting the semester final here. And I'm going to say this. I'm not very impressed with my teaching based on the results. Why target the CD when the fork is pointing upwards? What'd you say, Mackenzie? It's all BS? Oh, BS fork. Well, look at where we are. My question was, should we bother drawing a fork? Ah, wait a second. Wait a second. We might have a student that walks up to the front to the chalkboard. Oh, but no, Matt, you had the right idea, but not XA. Yes, now you're cooking, Mackenzie. And you know you're cooking with gas. Dad used to say that. The scan's already done. Done did. Be successful. It went more than 15% of the CD leg. So the scan was successful. Well, the fork would be pointing up. It's of no value. What about a Charlie Delta X-ray fork, which isn't just a traditional fork, it's a Charlie Delta X-ray, meaning the Fibonacci-ness is at exponential levels. And when I have a CDX fork, which has that Fibonacci at exponential levels, supercharged, it is the prime candidate for external Fibonacci's and warning lines. So Chuck, Matt, you were close. Mackenzie, So see, it's not just a throwaway because it's only 11 pips wide. We may have some valuable use for it outside of the context of the inside of the pitchfork. Y'all put it on. I don't need to put it on. Just talking. This is the, addendum to chapter 27.1.2 that's 22 pages long out of the 50,000. So when somebody asks something like, well, how big should the scan be on a 5-minute chart? Give me the conditions. Is the scan just a projection from C to D? How far into the C to D move is it? Can I get potential 5, 7, 10 pips out of somewhere in the CD move if I do a retrace extreme or grab, jump on the impulsive ride somehow? Yeah, if we're going to wait for that fork to get to D and then try and take the D on nothing more than hopefully an energy point, support and resistance line, harmonic wave convergence point, something, then we would want CD to be whatever it was, 47.285693 pips wide. But if I'm going to take it from C to D, if I'm going to use it because it's already expired and it's done and completed successfully, not only was it a CDX fork, but it was a scan that achieved its 15% move, so it was successful. It has potential to be there for guiding me way down here where I am. All right, I'm going to ask a question from the audience. You all answer it for me. The question is, can you set notification on scanner to alert after C is painted? Yes or no? Yes, 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 no. Yes, 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 no. Yes, 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 yes. No alert, but you can check the monitor. I don't know. I don't think D, I don't know, is one of the answers. Not on incomplete. Yes. Monitor. Yes. Wait at the C, like a telegram alert. Yes, too many. New feature, right? Not to telegram, but chart and monitor window show incompletes. Correct. So catching C moves should just be part of your chart rotation of the pairs you want to trade and the time periods you want to trade, and seeing if there's a scan there. You can also go to your monitor. Well, you can't put an alert on anything with a trend line because unless you're doing your Fibonacci work and you're guessing potential C's based on swings in front of you, you have no idea when the C is painted and completed. So there's nothing to put a trend line on. Remember I say when you get to the charts, always know what you're trading. So guess what? As a student in progression of your Forex journey, when you ask questions, you need to phrase the question and frame the question from your perspective on what it is you're trading. Because otherwise, there's not much help. No, the C has to complete, because it's not going to, there's too many possibilities with just an A-B move. So we have to have the C in order to draw the projection for the D. It doesn't just draw a C, it draws the C and the D projection. And we want the C. That's what we're looking for typically. Okay, so it's a little bit like you call your mechanic in the morning, "Yo, Joe, my car won't start." The technical reality is the product does not alert you on a C being painted. That's that simple. It only alerts you when the scan, through Telegram, it only alerts you when the D is painted. So you call Joe, "Hey Joe, my car won't start." What's Joe going to say, Mackenzie, since you know Joe? Yeah, give you the details. What do you mean it won't start? Why does he have to provide the 20 questions? Why can't you give him the information so he could actually maybe do some diagnostics? Your car won't start because it iced last night and the keyhole is frozen over and your key won't fit in it because you have an old car and it doesn't have electronic switching, or maybe the electronic switching even won't open it. Maybe you got into the car and you put your key in the ignition and you didn't hear anything when you turned it. Maybe you put the key in the ignition, turned it, and it went click, 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 click. Maybe it went but it wouldn't turn over. So your mechanic needs to know these things. So when you guys ask questions from a Forex perspective, you got to do the same thing. You've got to say what it is you're trying to do and what results are you getting. If you're going to ask a hypothetical question, it's cool. It's how we learn to an extent. And whoever asked, I'd have to go back and look. I don't know. I wasn't being snarky. I was reminding you to be MacGyver. Somebody asked if they could do the clay way with 10-minute, 30-minute, blah, 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 blah. And did you see my answer to that? Anybody see that question? Trevor, the point is there's no D showing because the scan hasn't painted yet. You would have to go to the chart and find the C, find some swings and be measuring them with Fibonacci in order to paint something and show a C. The C has to paint for you to know it's there. The scan has to paint for you to know where the C belongs. Yeah, so I said go and do 250, 1030. Go find me 250, 1030 combinations, look for patterns, take screenshots, and come back in 90 to 180 days with your conclusion. A little sarcastic, but so you guys ask hypothetical questions, you already have the tools to answer them. It's called CHARTS. The answers are already there. Yeah, Troy, it's about 1.2%. It's not, you can't compare it to IML scanner that waits till it's 91% from C to D to paint. And again, the answer is right in front of you, because you can go to numerous pairs and look for something with an open C. You can go to your monitor, right? Depends on what you have selected there. Trying to find some with multiple scans on it. But the bottom line is, after the C is calculated, the scans can paint. Now you get an alert when it paints to the D, when the price reaches the D and the scan is complete. So this is why it's so powerful, because you can get in here and draw your X-ray C, XAC scans, XA with the C touch, and see where that takes you. I know. Oh, look at the wickiness. Ugh. Wow. Hammy doing good in that. Yeah, I mean, that's, that will happen. And you just go, no, thank you. I saw one earlier that I wanted to go look at. So here, see, this would not paint on the IML scanner because we're not far enough down the C to D leg. Support and resistance lines are good. Again, the support and resistance lines on this scanner are AI based. They use machine learning. No. What should we do here? So when we get a new scan where price just left the D, we should be waiting for the price to bounce off the median for a safe trade or a retest on the outside for the fork. Is that correct? You need to ask me more. You need to give me more information. Are you talking about a CDX pitchfork? Then yes, you're looking for it. If you wait that long, you're going to look for, it just depends on what your X-ray Alpha Charlie fork looks like. You're just going to wait for that. But yes, on a plain vanilla CDX, you're looking for price to get to the median for a bounce or to retest, in this case, the D. Most likely is like a wave 2. What's going to give me more information here? Well, I can't draw a CDX because there is no CD to draw. So let's not even contemplate that. Oh, lots of good touches, C touch, some touches on a quad. Watch the 62, where it's going to go. But now you have a fork that you can put trend lines on. And move it over and see what it looks like in terms of harmonic wave convergence. I'm not sure what you're calling a channel here. No, because we only have two kinds. Where's the question? No, we only have two kinds of XA forks that we draw. Wow. Fail, 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 fail. Somebody showed me in a previous session where we've talked about XA traditional to the big wick. And whoever said that, you're not alone. There were several of you that said XA traditional. Yes, because I want to have a very set type of circumstances that I constantly observe. That's where I want to get my KSP from. I'm not saying that XA traditional to the big wick wouldn't be important or couldn't work. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, why bother? take the number of patterns you're going to trade and the number of time periods you're going to trade, go look at your monitor and see how many options you have for drawing forks. So, and again, when we talk about channel sizing here, I'm not sure what we're looking at from that perspective. You know, what we should be thinking of is impulsive move. Don't look for anything. You don't want to be looking for anything. You want to know where trades can occur. AC is merely the line you use to create the angle, to create this best fit. But because I'm using the scanner, you know, my first inclination of looking at what I'm expecting to happen, if you want to use the word expecting, is the C to D move. Now, you can tell there was a lot of craziness in here. So I'm not going to assign percentages as to why it may or may not get to the D, but that's the first thing I'm looking for. Now that it's aligned, you know, there may be reasons to look at any number of possibilities for trades. It's a downward fork. I should be looking for sells. I'm expecting C to go to D, but I'm not going to ignore other stuff. You know, there may be something here somewhere in terms of there might have been a trend line. You know, where's that wick? These are not all that good. You know, there may be a trend line. I'm going to be drawing trend lines on tops and bottoms, but which ones am I really interested in? Tops. I've already got the AC started, so I know that's going to be something I want to keep paying attention to. And I'm always drawing the next highs until that expires, or it may hit at some point down the future. That one's a little tight because they're very close together. So I might have a trend line bounce. There may be, you know, an energy point created on the AC or one of these quad or the median. It might come all the way down to the median and be a harmonic wave convergence. I'm going to take that buy probably right into, you know, a clayway kind of trade. Coming back down impulsively. So this is where you want this. Guys, don't make it a system when it's not a system. Pitchforks, trend lines, harmonic wave convergence are technologies. You want to know what they are, but there's no system here where step 1, step 2, step 3, enter. And if that doesn't like mesh with what you think you're supposed to understand about trading, then I understand, and you need to go look for a 1, 2, 3, 4 system. They are out there. We're about being able to capture trades at any given time based on the circumstances. The 62 is starting to bend down. We can have a test of the 62, which again, may be a retrace extreme. It may be a harmonic wave convergence. Just depends at what level. Don't have that on here. I'm not going to move it over right now. Yeah, we're more about pips than we are systems. Systems, in terms of general trading, systems are going to train your RAS not to look for opportunities. Now, for those that are a little confused, you want to inundate your subconscious mind training by consciously taking the same types of trades until you can look at a chart and see those trades whether they exist or not. Then you can start working on another kind of trade. And then you repeat it. And then you start looking at another kind of trade. So after 12, 24, 36 months, there's about 7, 8, 10, 11 different things that you can trade. And you don't want to have a system, because that's going to prevent you from getting pips. That's going to, or it's going to limit the number of pips you're going to get. Now, yes, early on, I've said don't trade 27 different things. Don't trade Heinz ketchup, when you first start. Get KSP on something and then build from that, move to the next thing, move to the next thing. Then it's there all the time. Let me ask you a question. Simple question. No trick question here. I just want to see the answer. How many of you know not to put your hand on a hot burner? Say yes. How many of you know not to sit on chewing gum that's sitting on the seat at the dentist's office? Right? How many of you, I'm going to eliminate some people here, but that's okay. How many of you know how to ride a bicycle? Okay, most everybody. So there's 3 things you learn at some point in your life that once you learn them, you still know them. So when you do something enough repeatedly and it gets in your mind, then you'll remember it and it adds to your trading arsenal. And then you can go do something else. But if you don't do it enough, if you don't repeat it enough, what's going to happen is you're not going to have it down. And you're going to go try and learn something else. And you're not going to have that down. And then you're going to go try and learn something else. And now you're kind of that jack of all trades, master of none. And whoever knew that little, whatever it is, fable was written about Forex traders? Yeah, exactly, Clayton. Subconsciously competent, yes. That's what we call flow. Actually, what I said is it depends on your skill set. So the question is, Steve, you said in a previous session you can trade the first bounce off an XA placed on the C or D. Was that correct or a misunderstanding of my hearing? No, I've said it before. So we've got this set here. The reason I was looking at other touches is to give me confidence that I could trade this on the first bounce. So if it came up and bounced off the C again, I'd be ready to trade it. Well, I believe in Tim's, in Clay's discussion of the Clay way, the answer for what money management would you use on a clayway bounce for the sell. As we say, trader's choice. I won't tell you who asked Clay. Depends on what you're trading, right? There might be a clayway, easy, discernible divergence, 5-minute wave bouncing off the Bollinger Band, hitting a support and resistance line, and it drops 10 pips. Where am I in my day for my trading? Where am I in my week for my trading? Where am I in my head for my trading so far this week, this month? There are some circumstances where you're going to take the 10, put it in the bank, and go play golf. Shut it down for the rest of the day. Some might say, hey, there's great pips. Let me lock in 75% of them. I'm going to put the other 25%, on a multi-time frame haul. Some might say, hey, look, I see the rest of this impulsive move. I see what's going on here. I got a trend line. I got this. I got that. I'll move my stop in, not too aggressively, but I'm going for the D. There's no right answer. It's going to be you and where you sit. Yeah, all that happened today, right? Yep, I'm here. Now, we've got a 15-minute fork. What else could we do here to help guide us? Yeah, I mean, assuming, we can move it on to our trading view charts and have fast and tab. We can put fork fibos on here. But especially for all of those talking clayway, maybe keep visibility on the fork and drop down to a 5-minute chart. I could put shadow bands on my 30-minute chart. But I could drive down to the 5-minute chart and look at my 513.62. And speaking back to the money management question, as if I get in a retrace extreme and I'm headed towards the D, at least pointing that way after a retrace extreme, after an up move ends and I'm headed down, as in 5-minute wave hits a Bollinger or something, I can look at the 513.62 relationship on that 5-minute chart, and I could kind of gauge until when's it getting risky? Well, the 513 is going to be opening up from each other and from the 62 as long as there's a good drop. When that 5 starts coming back and the 13 starts coming back and they start flattening out or they're ready to cross each other, now you're getting into risky turf. So that's when, depends on how your week, where your day, your mood, your head, that's where maybe you come in and say, I'm going to take 50, 60, 75% profit, and I'll let the rest go out on the Hall flip at time period. But you can use those 513.62. Remember, that's why we learned it. When they open up, you have a move going on at time period. So the more separation I have, the better off I am. Right? So we're kind of all over the board tonight, but we're hitting all the good stuff. Well, I think we are. And I'm the one that counts here. I mean, come on. But we're talking more in terms of just general trading. I like doing that. I like taking you down the path of what you should be looking for, what you should be thinking about. That opens your RAS. When did we talk about the 5 and the 13? One of the past sessions. Because we talked several times now, at least twice, about how to move them from time period to time period if you wanted to use other time period EMAs. 2 sessions ago, Mackenzie says. Last week, lots, says Trevor. $327, says Doug. Okay. So you've got multiple time frame hulls for money management. You've got current period 513.62. You've got lower time period 513.62. You've got fast tab 29. Understanding waveology, seeing what the waves are doing there. I could put this on my, copy this over to my 15-minute chart, and I could, now remember, this was a 30 that I dropped to 15, so my EMAs didn't change colors. But I could put, this is a 15-minute scan, I could put on my 15-minute chart, and on your trading view charts, you can put your harmonic targets on, because it knows to use, at least that version, it knows to use the 1362 cross on a 30-minute chart. So I can see my harmonic targets in the drop. So, good stuff. Any questions? I think I'll let you teach that one, Clay. Yeah, exactly. Let me show you the old paradigm. Is it bad to delete old scans you draw? Do I need to keep them? Keep them, keep them. Yeah, 50 pip stops. Well, here, look, as a piece of advice, if you want to get more insight in your critiques, reviews in our Scans, Forks, and Fibos group, if you're doing stuff that involved a scan, you're best to have the scan on the charts. If you drew a pitchfork that was a X-ray C touch, and you're 2 weeks into the fork and the scan's gone or you took it off, we don't know that that was an XAC touch. You might even say, oh, this was an XAC touch, but we don't see where. Which of those points was the X and the A? And well, we can guess the XA, but we don't see where the C is. Unless there's only one touch on the C, on this AC line. So it's good to leave the scans there. Also, it helps you remember. So I would say until you're way gone, if you're using anything based on that scan still, I would keep it around. Well, yeah, I think somebody asked that earlier, Janelle. So, if you're with the scanner, you could go to your monitor, find the XACs, draw them if you can, pointing in the right direction, everything works. And then, as we just said, you're looking for the C to D move. Now, if you're going to wait for the D to form before you do anything, meaning I'm going to wait to get a paint and then go draw a CDX, you can do that, because our IML scanner, that was, our focus was CDX. Don't trade the D, let it paint. We're not worried about the D because it may shift on us, it may slide. So even if you're not trying to trade the D, if you wait for the D to draw your CDX, you may miss out on some of this activity, excuse me, from C to D. Now, if you're not ready for some of the advanced stuff, again, we have newer traders, then if you're not ready to do that, then sure, just go ahead and set your Telegram up and wait for your D alerts and come and draw your CDXs. And then from the CDX, as price moves out of the CDX, you're looking for a retest of the bottom, a wave 2 kind of retest, or the bounce off the median, or maybe a pass through the median and a pass and check. So lots of options in there that you may be willing to look at. Does that make sense? Good question. The other thing you can do when you drop down to the 5-minute level is look for scans that may complement what you're doing here. In other words, maybe I drop down to my 5-minute level. Would it surprise you to see a scan not that I'm a good artist, but it very well may tell you hey, look at that. Price is going to move up, and if it does and it hits the D, that might be right around the parallel. That'd be a great time for a D reversal. So dropping down to the 5-minute level, you may see something like that. You may see patterns that help what's going on at the 15 or the 30-minute level. The other thing you can do at the 5-minute level is draw a 5-minute pitchfork. And you might find a 5-minute pitchfork that helps you. While this is a BC here and we never draw it as a BC, at the 5-minute level, that might be something else. So that's, where we really shine and where you'll really shine as a trader if you hang around long enough is in being able to use multiple time periods, multiple time frame analysis to really, line up and stack probabilities to your trade. What do most people do? They got some sort of system at a time period. And the rough times I've seen people try and use lower level, upper level charts to a system, it's been weak attempts, let me put it that way, because it's all their old paradigm, the way they approach it anyway. So we'll look at it from a new paradigm perspective. Once, and we're getting close, we have the education where we want it for disruptive traders, we're going to start being able to, as we've said before, divide sessions up a little. And we want people to go through beginners level, kind of test out their skill set, make sure the coaches feel comfortable with them, that they know the material, and then they could jump into intermediate classes and let the intermediate coaches work with them, and then jump into advanced classes. But the people that have been here 2.5, 3 years now, well, 3 years this summer, we'll start doing some true multiple time frame trading. But I don't want to subject a beginner to that. And I want the beginner to have some place to go. And I want the intermediate trader, somebody's been around for a while but maybe isn't ready to have live money out there yet. Right? They want to improve their demo trading, go back to the lab and find consistency there. But I don't want to hold back the people that are ready, because we have many. All right, any questions? Check. Mic check. Yeah, it's going through. Oh, you'll get it. It's just time. Absolutely right. Was there a point in your trading career when you felt you had totally rid yourself of any emotion when trading? Nope. It's just the degree to which it's going to impact you. I mean, I think, to be genuine, anybody that's been trading for a while is going to tell you there's still emotion in trading. Anybody that's been trading a while is going to tell you that that doesn't mean you become nervous and you become afraid to take a trade. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I still smile when I get good pips, and I still get frowny faces when, things, even though I've stacked probabilities, they go 100% of my way. The difference is how you react to that emotion. Right? Does it play through you, or do you succumb to it? Same thing with ego. So it's one of those things every day. And again, in your self-development work, challenge yourself on that. In your affirmations, why am I open to understand my response to emotion? Why am I open to constantly be aware of my subconscious thinking? Meaning when the ego's taken over. So yeah, I don't know, embrace it, I guess. I mean, I don't give it a hug, but no, there really isn't, Isaac. I mean, you just, there's many books out there. Any more recent within the last 0 to 3 years, neuroscience books, behavioral science, um, there's anything that's the inner game. John Assaraf has inner size. Follow Joe Dispenza, follow Bruce Lipton. And it just eventually comes together. Yeah, that's really the best way, Michelle. It's just, we're going to start doing, obviously some of you know I've got a lot of stuff going on right now, but once some of that dust settles, got a couple of things at play. We're going to finish up a harmonic scanner course. We're going to have the multitude of trader coaches that have stepped up and are ready to do some coaching. We'll have some division in, add more sessions and have some division in them for category of trader. And Mindset Mastery, the plan there is for that to expand into some workshops. So we may even get to the point before the end of 2019 of having a pretty extensive weekend workshop kind of thing, and probably test it out here in the States. Just ordered inner size. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, when I say test it out, I mean just see how I can prepare for it, how I could promote it, the attendance we get, the kinds of things that went well and didn't go well, etc. Yeah, DC Eastman still wants to do a Caribbean trader cruise with me. We still talking about that back and forth, so we'll see. Anything else? Oh, I see myself getting to the UK and to Australia and to Dubai. I just don't know where. And then for those of you who may be so inclined, there may be a 2-day trader summit, just 2-day, but 2-day, in June in Atlanta. So, yeah, Costa Rica is hot. I've got several people that are actually doing some things for disruptive traders down in Costa Rica. So, Yeah, Todd's down there. Portland. We had a good time in Portland. We went through Portland last summer. No, because I'm waiting for somebody else to pick the days in Atlanta, and then I would build it in front of that. So I'm just waiting for that to finalize. And hopefully in the next week or so, there'll be some decisions on that. And where is that, Trevor? Did you say already? Oh, yeah. I might be taking a long drive up there in October. Oh, I've been in Roanoke many times, Michael. Excuse me, Roanoke. You guys don't say Roanoke. It's Roanoke. On my way to Blacksburg. Lane Stadium. Many times. Yep. Cow dairy farms and football. Chuck works in Roanoke. Didn't know we had so many Virginians around. All right, look, I'm going to call it a night. Sorry again for last night. My apologies. Hopefully those that made it here tonight got a little bit of value. We're going to continue to push through. I'm going to continue to challenge your, yeah, that's only 2 things from Oklahoma. Yeah, I will challenge your RAS and challenge your thinking more and more as we move forward here. I'll try and get this recording up. And guys, remember, get your buddies here. I have this thing about live sessions that if they peter off too much because everybody's just watching the replay, and then I watch who's watching the replay. I can't tell who, but I can see how many times. And yeah, I know you guys are in Oklahoma. I don't remember at the end of that movie though. Somebody was from he was riding off on his bike, and I'm from Nebraska or something. Oh, 2 things from 2 people from Nebraska. So can I tell you a joke that's I haven't told this one in a while, and hopefully I don't offend anybody, but it's always a good joke. It's kind of like that only 2 things from Oklahoma thing. So you've got those who've been around, you'll remember it. So this guy, he's a salesman, and he thinks he's pretty good. He learns how to play off his prospects. He reacts to his prospects very well. And so he's sitting down with this prospect one day, and somehow Green Bay comes up. The city of Green Bay comes up. And the sales rep goes, well, there's only 2 people from Green Bay, football players and whores. And the prospect looks a little astonished at him and goes, excuse me, my mother's from Green Bay. And so the salesman goes, oh, what position does she play? So that's what you call quick recovery when you stick your foot in your mouth. Dad joke. It's not a dad joke. That's better than a dad joke. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so with that, I'll shut it down. I got that on tape here, so forever. It'll live for eternity. Thursday Traders Mindset Mastery coming up. Everybody have a good weekend. we'll be back Monday night with Disruptive Traders TV, and let the good stuff keep coming. You guys hang in there. Keep moving with us. And remember, life can be short and sometimes even shorter. So for those people you care and love, let them know you care and love them. I love you guys for being so good and showing up tonight on a non-scheduled night and making time for that into your schedule, even though you'd already scheduled it last night. And again, I appreciate your understanding. And let's go on. Let's do this thing, man. I'll see you guys in Facebook land, and if not, until Monday. Take care.